Hey everyone, welcome back to the garden. It's actually balmy out today compared to what it's been for the last several weeks, so that's why we're actually out in the garden today. Can you believe we have not finished all of our fall cleanup, and it's almost the middle of December. It just got really cold really fast, and there was no way we were getting out here in real field temperatures like 20, 25 to do garden cleanup. So come garden with us today and let's see what we need to finish cleaning up. So honestly, because it is so late in the year, I wouldn't normally film this unless we were doing it a month ago. But I like to get most of my cleanup done in the fall because we don't really have time in the spring. We're really busy here in the spring doing projects. So I don't want having to clean up ratty perennials to kind of interfere with those projects. So I like to have 99% of my cleanup done before then. I'm filming also because I want to talk to you a little bit about those plants we're overwintering in containers, the two Encore Azaleas and the Endless Summer Pop Star Hydrangea. So it is a little bit informational. So I'm having my husband flip over our vessel water feature again so that I can get in here with my little narrow rake up the leaves from around this hydrangea because it was full of black spot this year. You can't leave those leaves on the ground to overwinter and then the disease will just come back. So can't get in there with a leaf blower. Try to get as much out of there as I can with just the rake. Use my little leaf blower to blow some of this stuff out. Let's try that. You do not want to leave diseased leaves in any plants, but particularly these hydrangeas. This one looked really bad this year, so I just want to make sure I can get as many of those diseased leaves up as I can. Using my husband's glove. Was not expecting to have to do this by hand, so a little bit big. I mean, there's not many leaves left, and most of them are, I don't know, oak and maple. But on the off chance there's one or two of those spotted, diseased hydrangea leaves down there, I want to get them out. And it's not easy, as you can imagine, getting into a plant that has so much tight growth here. Obviously, you don't want to prune these because, I mean, they already have buds set for next year, even down to here. You know, I could probably take it halfway, but that's not going to help with the leaves. So I'm actually just going to see if I see any hydrangea leaves. Decorating myself with hydrangea heads. So I mean, I can see a lot of oak leaves and maple leaves in here. Honestly, I don't see too many hydrangea leaves left. I mean, yeah, I see some that are on here. And honestly, those should probably be cut because you can't just pull them off. They just, at this point, they're just crumbling. And you can see, I think, if you can get in here close enough, you can see the spotting on there. So that's why I don't want to leave them. I don't want to film me pulling off every one of those leaves. You get the idea. Do not leave diseased leaves in your garden over the winter. So between the two of us, we managed to get it cleaned out fairly well in here so that come spring, well, late winter, early spring, again, it just depends. Every year could be different. We will come in and treat this hydrangea as well as our other hydrangeas and probably our roses, with it like a triple action that has a fungicide in it, either that or just a strict copper fungicide to take care of the black spot. So as I think I've said before, I don't leave coneflowers standing over the winter. It's just not something, I don't like the look of them. I know some people do, I don't. I'll come back and clean these up later. So I just took them all down with a hedge trimmer. We have a lot more coneflowers to do up in our rain garden, and down at the bottom of our driveway bed. I'm trying to think what else do I need to tackle. Oh, I wanted to say, one of the few things that I will leave are these pretty serendipity alliums. I just like the way they look over the winter, and they're pretty strong, so those will stay. So the next thing I want to get cleaned up, and this is not a perennial, are the 3 blue kazoo spirea. Normally I would not clean up a shrub until the spring, but these are pretty hardy as well. They're very protected back here, and they're going to be fine if we cut them now. Not too worried about it. Plus, I want to clear it out because we want to get 2 frost-free containers back here to overwinter for the Encore Azaleas. The ones that, if any of you watched one of our previous videos, we are overwintering Encore Azalea in frost-free containers. They're only hardy down to zone 6, and I'm in a zone 7. They would probably be fine on our patio, but we're just taking extra protection, and we're going to tuck them right up in against the house here. So that's why we need to clean up the spirea. And I'm just going to use the hedge trimmer to do that too. So, technology. I did not get a film. Thought I hit play. I probably did hit play. I've been having trouble with my app for doing filming lately, and it did not film any of this. But as you can see, they are all cut down. My husband's just going to go in and make them a little bit more flush. There's actually a lot of green in those stalks, but to be quite honest with you, I don't care if these die. They're such a mess. I don't think that they will. We are supposed to get cold again. The next 3-4 days are supposed to be in the 50s and 60s, and then we're supposed to get cold again. These will be fine. These things are tough to kill. It always looks so much cleaner when shrubs are cleaned up in the beds, even though it's not something we normally do at this time of the year. It just looks so much fresher, and now I can see that there's plenty of room back there for those 2 containers to overwinter. So as you can see, I just cleaned up the Shasta daisies. I think they can be brought down a little bit farther on this side. We'll leave the sedums because they do have pretty seed heads, and they are pretty strong. There's also a couple of echinaceas in there. Once we get those tall grasses cut back, then we'll get in there and get those echinaceas. But I think what I want to do now is move over to the area at the bottom of our dry creek bed here and into our rain garden. We have a lot of perennials in there that we want to get cut back. So right in here we have a couple of Gara, the whirling butterflies. There's one here and there's one here. We're going to cut those back too because they're kind of floppy. They look kind of messy. Then we have 3 Stand By Me bush clematis in the back there. They're all going to come down too. These standby bean bush clematis are probably going to come out of here in the summer, spring, summer, again, depending on how busy we are, because they don't stand. They're just very floppy, no matter how many stakes we put around them. So I'd rather not have this kind of floppiness back here. So we'll see what happens in the spring, summer. For the Gara, I'm just going to take it all the way down to any basal foliage that there might be left. Kind of like a coneflower. See a lot of basal foliage down on this one, so I'll show you what I mean. Do you see all that green in there? That's what I'm going to take it down to. So you can see that base of the plant. The reason why we leave basal foliage is to protect a marginally hardy plant over the winter. So that's why I left that there. Not too worried about any foliage on the clematis. I could do the chop and drop method like Jim Putnam. Missed a piece there. Yeah, that looks good. Just going to clean up any little mess. Then we'll move on to the next project. I think I've changed my mind. I'm going to leave a lot of the stuff here in our bottom rain garden along the dry creek bed, except for the iris over there. Maybe I'm changing my mind a little bit on what I think looks pretty during the winter. We might just cut the Joe Pye, anything that's black. I just don't find that attractive. Black of the Joe Pye weed and then the black of the coneflowers here. I think the rest of it can stay, even though the blue mist flower spreads quite aggressively. It self-seeds and those seed heads are blowing all over. They're easy enough to pull out. I do feel like that all looks really pretty. So why are we putting these azaleas here? So we got these a couple weeks ago. They came from Alabama. While they are hardy here in Zone 7 in Pennsylvania, that's not the problem. The problem is they came from a very warm climate to our climate where the temperature dropped out of the bottom of the thermostat overnight. So that was going to be quite a bit of a shock to these plants. We did leave them out. They were on the deck, but it was just too quick of a freeze for a marginally hardy plant that was just put in a container and came from a warm climate. So because they're up against the house here, they'll be protected. And they'll probably get some heat radiating from the house, so that will keep them warm. The only thing is because they're evergreen, we are going to have to provide them with some water. This is where the endless summer pop star is going to spend the winter. You can see what our weather did to it. You remember when I took it out of the box, how gorgeous it was? Someone even commented that when that came out of the box, she was amazed at how beautiful it was. I was too, but it got, we literally dropped. We went from 70s to like 30s and 20s in a matter of a couple of days. So not good for plants. But it will be fine here. The pop star, I think, is hardy down to zone 4 or 5, so it'll be absolutely fine. Again, I will give all of these plants that we're overwintering in containers, especially the evergreen ones, water. We are supposed to get quite a bit of rain this week, but I don't think much of that rain is going to make it to the pot that the holly's in because it's so dense. So I will give these all a good soaking so that they have enough water to draw on for the winter. You don't really need to worry about deciduous plants. Once they go dormant, they go dormant. They're really not going to be pulling water from the soil. It's just that we have not watered them really since they've been in the garage, and they did get a little dry. So I am going to provide some water, and that will be it for the hydrangea for the winter, because it will get a little bit of moisture there. If we get like a southeasterly wind and we get some rain or snow, it'll be fine there. So that's going to be it for today's video, guys. I never thought I'd be cleaning up my garden in December. I think we've always finished it earlier than this, but it has been a weird year. So again, thanks for coming along. I hope you enjoyed. Hopefully we'll see you in the next one. Not sure if there will be a next one or not right before Christmas, but we'll see. If not, Merry Christmas. Thank you for watching again. I really appreciate all your support, but hopefully we'll see you in another one before Christmas. Bye. And before I forget, I just wanted to thank everyone who responded to my garden Q&A live stream video. I think we got a good response, so we'll go ahead and do one, at least one to start. I will put out a post, not a video, with some dates and times. You guys maybe put a poll. You can reply with, you know, what dates and times work best for you all. I feel like in my video I said I'd be happy if I got between 5 and 10 people, and we did. So I'm looking forward to it. And again, thank you. I really appreciate it.